Hello, everybody, and welcome to WDW Radio Live and the WDW Newscast. I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio. Today is Wednesday, September 12th, 2012. I want to thank you for joining me on this live video broadcast and interactive chat where we talk about this week's Walt Disney World news, helping you enhance your enjoyment and appreciation of the parks. Be sure and also visit the site over at WDWRadio.com. You can also get the podcast in iTunes. We have blogs, videos, discussion forums, audio walking tours, and lots more there. Let's get right into this week's Walt Disney World news because there's actually a lot to cover. And let's start off over in the Walt Disney World theme parks. Let's start first over at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Small little change there, but I think one that's very welcome to people, especially those of us who go in the heat of the summer, because they're about to start offering complimentary, kids that means free, locker rentals for 2 hours for anybody riding Cali River Rapids. Trust me, you think you get wet on Splash Mountain, you will get wet on Cali River Rapids. The lockers are located just by the restrooms near the main entrance to Cali River Rapids. You can still also get a full day locker at the front of the park if you want to pay for a full day. But I think this is a really nice, small, but very welcome perk to guests who have cameras or bags or children. No, you don't put your children in the lockers, but you know what I'm talking about. Things that you need to store in the lockers. Please don't put your kids in there. I think this is a great little perk over at Cali River Rapids, which is a great time to go, by the way, right now. Still hot, but just not as crowded. Moving over to the Magic Kingdom, and more importantly, to your mobile phone. This week, Disney debuted a new mobile website for Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party, which actually debuted yesterday. I know, September 11th, you're not thinking Halloween, but it is. And they've got a great new mobile app if you visit m.disneyworld.com. I'll put a link in the show notes this week over at WDWRadio.com. It'll automatically recognize that you're on a mobile device and give you access not just to the main website with attraction times and event times, but if you go to special events, it has a special page or number of pages specifically about Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party. It gives you everything from parade times to firework times to where you can meet characters. Really neat. Again, we're seeing this trend, a lot more interactivity on your mobile devices when you're going to the parks. I think this is a trend that is going to continue and continue to grow as time goes on. We'll talk about how the release of Apple's new iPhone and iOS may potentially impact the Disney parks probably next week. Speaking of moving on and moving forward, it didn't take me very long to get to food. Let's get right on over to Gaston's Tavern in the new Fantasyland. It's going to have a soft opening on November 19th, official opening on December 6th. And Disney this week released the first refreshment selections over at Gaston's Tavern. It is a quick service restaurant in New Fantasyland. Get ready for this. It's going to have warm, I can't even say it. I'm so excited. Warm cinnamon rolls as its signature sweet throughout the day. And there's also going to be a signature beverage. And if you've been out to Disney's California Adventure, to the Cozy Cone and Cars Land, it is exactly the same as Red's Apple Freeze. It's going to be served here under the name of LeFou's Brew. It's going to be a no sugar added frozen apple juice with toasted marshmallow flavoring topped with passion mango fruit foam. It's going to be available in standard cups as well as you see here, these special souvenir steins and goblets. They are as fun and collectible as the Cozy Cones. Everything tastes better in a cone in Fantasyland. Everything's going to taste better in a Gaston stein. Again, that is going to open soft openings November 19th, full openings officially on December 6th. As you saw last week, we didn't have a newscast. We had a special broadcast live from Disney's Hollywood Studios where we went and got to see Fantasmic, not just from a special viewing area, but also from the control room. If you missed it, stay tuned. I'll post a video this week with that very cool video, seeing exactly how the magic of Fantasmic comes to be. But in case you missed the announcement, Fantasmic, if you get there late, because sometimes you can't line up early, you've got dinner reservations, you're besting your high score on Toy Story Mania. Well, if you get there late, don't worry, because all that extra standing room only area is now being converted to 1,000 new bench seats in the current standing room area in the backs and off to the sides. They didn't give us a projected completion date for that work, but it's good to know that the popularity of Fantasmic has now necessitated the addition of more bench seats. And more importantly, what they did was they listened to guests. And this is what my takeaway from this was that I spoke to Dan Cockrell, who was the vice president of Hollywood Studios, and they said in guest satisfaction surveys, there was a marked increase in satisfaction of the guests who were sitting versus those who are standing. So Disney listens, they make a change. It's not sexy and exciting, but for those people who don't have to stand anymore, the benches are going to be a welcome addition. All right, let's move from the parks over to the resorts. And the final set of buildings over at Disney's Art of Animation Resort, themed to The Little Mermaid, are going to open in like literally hours on Saturday, September 15th. The 864 standard rooms are going to welcome their first guests on Saturday, and they join the 1,120 family suites themed to Finding Nemo, Cars, my favorite, and The Lion King. And in addition to the rooms, the area is also going to include the Flippin' Fins pool. So it's also going to join the Big Blue pool, the main pool by the main building, as well as the Cozy Cone pools as well, too. The nice thing, too, these are standard rooms. They're not the suites. So rates at the new Mermaid rooms are going to start at as little as $94 a night. Again, varies by season, plus tax. Contact your Disney authorized vacation planner like mousefantravel.com for more information and rates. Really excited to check those rooms out as well. Love the theming. Love the decor. If you have kids, you need to check out Art of Animation. I consider it sort of a value plus, really a step up from the value resorts, just sort of in between value and moderate, especially with the suite rooms as well, too. Let's sort of continue beyond the parks and move over to downtown Disney, because if you are a Phineas and Ferb fan, really, who's not? They have a new experience in downtown Disney, which is now open. It's called Phineas and Ferb and You, a brand new reality. It is now open, and these characters are now showing up in another spot in Walt Disney World. You know, Agent P has his World Showcase adventure. Well, now you don't have to even go to the theme parks to meet up with the animated versions of not only Phineas and Ferb, but the evil Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Agent P. That was the worst impression ever. Sorry. The experience is set up near Bongo's Cuban Cafe on the west side of Disney. Guests are going to line up in a themed queue, and when it's your turn, you're going to step into a sort of a sectioned off area to interact with the characters on a green screen, sort of a green screen type experience, and then have your photos taken, a nice little takeaway. So now you'll be able to meet the characters at Hollywood Studios. You'll be able to go on the World Showcase adventure in Epcot, and now you can even spend, you know, a nice afternoon in downtown Disney and meet the characters there, really demonstrating the popularity of the show, not just with kids, but with adults as well. People in the chat room are already talking. I know there's a lot of... I've seen more people with Agent P shirts on that are over the age of 13 than probably sometimes that are younger. Very interesting how it has transcended the original demographic. I think there's another show that's out now that I'm a huge fan of that I think is going to do the same thing. It's Gravity Falls. It's on at 9:30 p.m. every Friday night on the Disney Channel. Highly, highly recommend you check it out. I'm going as Dipper for Halloween this year, just to give you a sense of how much I love it. Continuing beyond the theme parks, way beyond the theme parks, but sort of that Disney experience at sea, Disney this week released some new information about upcoming itineraries for Disney Cruise Line departing from Galveston, Texas. So now there's even more options for guests, right? So you've been able to leave from Port Canaveral. You've been able to leave from the West Coast. You've been able to go to, Castaway Cay and Alaska, Nova Scotia, the cruise to nowhere out of New York. Well, now there are, in addition to the Western Caribbean sailings from Galveston, new choices include 4-night Caribbean getaway cruises and 8-night itineraries that also go to Castaway Cay. Carl Holtz was really talking about how these shorter kind of getaway cruises, right? Even if the cruise, look, the ship could go around in circles and you'd be happy to be on it, because of that Disney experience that's on board. People are saying, Galveston, believe it or not, it's actually a big cruise hub, and I think this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for guests as well, too. So in early 2013, they're going to sail from Galveston to the Western Caribbean and the Bahamas with 4, 6, and 8-night itineraries. So if you want that quick 4-day getaway, you can do that as well. Those are going to go to Galveston. It's going to hit Cozumel. 6-night, so going to go to Grand Cayman and Cozumel. And 8 nights are going to go to Castaway Cay as well as Port Canaveral and Key West. So you can also get a little Disney World trip maybe in there as well too. Grand Cayman, Costa Maya, Cozumel, and later in 2013, they're going to have some 7-night cruises from Galveston to Grand Cayman, Costa Maya, and Cozumel. So even if you're not in that area, those ports, right, and those ships, and I think those itineraries may lure a lot of potential cruisers and even repeat cruisers down to Galveston to try going on the classic ships and going to some of those destinations as well too. And a nice 4-day getaway cruise is just what the doctor, trust me, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of law, but I am a doctor. It's what the doctor ordered to really sort of rejuvenate you and get you back, especially now that summer's over and school has started and you probably need a vacation already. I would love to hear what your thoughts are about these Galveston cruises and some of their itineraries. To those who are in the chat room, I see some of you are excited. Somebody saying that it's right down the street from them, and you're liking the idea of these ships leaving from additional ports around the country: New York, Port Canaveral, Galveston, the West Coast. Interesting to see what's going to continue to happen over the next couple of years as well too. So, sort of outside the parks, but more about the overall Disney World park experience as well. We talked at the very beginning of tonight's newscast about some of the small perks, right? The little things like free locker rentals, right? It's a small thing that actually goes a long way. Well, we've talked in the past too about Disney really rewarding and doing things for their most loyal and repeat visitors. Well, they are doing just that, because this week, Claire Bilby, the Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Disney Vacation Club, announced on the member website some new perks that are coming in just a couple of weeks, because from October 1st through December 31st, 2012, Disney Vacation Club members are going to be able to purchase a Walt Disney World Premium Annual Pass for just $399. Now, while that may sound like a lot, it's not, because that's $300 off the regular price. Again, it's a premium pass, so you get unlimited admission. There is no blackout dates to all 4 theme parks, the water parks, Disney Quest, ESPN, Oak Trail Golf Course, and lots more. I think this is a great thing. Again, it does run only from October 1st through December 31st, but if you are a DVC member and already have your pass, keep in mind one thing. Here's my little tip of the week. Not that I do tips every week, but now I guess I'm going to have to. Here's the tip. Remember, when you buy the premium annual pass, it's not activated until you use it for the first time. So if you already have an annual pass now, after October 1st, you can buy your annual pass, wait till the other pass expires, and then use that and redeem it. As long as it's by December 31st, 2013, you still get to get it at the $300 off price point. I think this is a huge perk. This is really nice. I'd love to see more of these things come for people who are annual pass holders as well too. Also, October 1st is going to mark the launch of a new ongoing perk, which is 10% off merchandise at all Disney-owned and operated merchandise locations, including Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Vero Beach, which I just went to last week, which was awesome, Hilton Head, and Aulani over at Ko'olina. For more information, visit dvcmember.com. And I see already in the chat room, they're saying, woo, I love it. This is great. And keep in mind, again, that tip, if you have a pass, being able to buy your pass now, as long as you use it, as long as you activate it by December 31st, 2013. So finally, and this is a big thing, especially for a lot of people I know who are in the chat, I know who may be listening and may who be watching, but this week, Disney announced that applications are once again being accepted for the 2013 Walt Disney World Moms Panel. Application process opened on September 10th. It's going to continue through September 14th or until 14,000 applications have been received if they haven't been already. If you are interested or for more information, visit Disney's Disney Mom Panel Search 2013. I'll put the link in the show notes over at WDWRadio.com to enter. And you don't need to be a Disney World expert. You don't need to know everything and anything there is about Walt Disney World. You just have to have a passion. You have to know how to be organized, how to plan. And now they have a new thing. For the first time, they have a call for entries for for sports team moms. So if you're experienced in organizing group and team travel to things like Wide World of Sports while incorporating a Walt Disney World vacation, they're looking for you. Also, they're looking for bilingual panelists and international travelers. So they're really starting to have some specific niches that they're trying to fill and really widening the scope of who they're looking for. And dads, don't worry, dads are included too. Moms is somewhat of a misnomer. You can be a dad. You don't even have to be a mom or a dad. You could be if you are a man or a woman, basically, and obviously restrictions do apply. You can apply to be a Moms Panel member. There's a multiple-step process. You'll have written questions and submissions with a final round being a phone interview. And then once the search is complete, they're going to announce the top new panelists in January of 2013. They'll go through some training in December 2012. It says that you need to be able to attend the training session in December 2012 to be a panelist. I'm sure everyone would pretty much stop what they're doing. So that's my question for you this week. All right. And again, because I'm a lawyer, the question is really multiple questions, plural. Have you ever applied to be a Disney World Moms panelist before? And are you going to apply this year? And if so, what makes you somebody who should be on the 2013 Walt Disney World Moms panel? I would love to hear from you, both those who are in the chat and those who are watching on YouTube, watching on the blog, or listening via iTunes or via the podcast. Please come by and comment over either on YouTube or on the blog over at WDWRadio.com if you're applying or if you're not. What do you think makes you? What sets you apart? Why do you think you should be on the 2013 Walt Disney World Moms panel? Would love to hear it. I know this is so important to so many people who really apply year after year. And if you've applied in the past and haven't made it, that's okay. Keep trying. Walt always said, keep moving forward, keep trying. But I've seen how this process has really affected, because how badly people want to be on it, how badly they want to share their passion for Disney. And I love the fact that Disney has done this. The Moms panel, I think, is in their third or fourth year of doing this, where the questions that are being answered and the messages that are being put out there are by regular guests like you and I, who get to answer questions from other regular guests. And it's not just coming from a press release or a news release. It's coming from real people who have been in your seat as well, too. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Moms panel and maybe why you should be a Walt Disney World mom or dad panelist as well, too. That is going to do it for this week's show. But if you want to be part of the show, if you'd like to help, there's a couple of things you can do. You can come by, you can subscribe to my page over on Facebook. I unfortunately can't accept any more friends. I've hit my limit. Subscribe to my page. I am facebook.com/Lou Mongello. And if you see posts that you like and comment over there as well. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/WDW Radio. I am on the Twitter. I am at Lou Mongello, and I would love it if you could please go by to iTunes and rate and review there, the show there as well, too. Very, very helpful. Very much appreciated, too. Couple of quick reminders, too. Don't forget, Saturday. How about this? Friday, September 28th is our WDW Radio inaugural e-ticket event, our evening at the American Adventurers Club. The event is almost sold out. We have just a few tickets left. You can order them by visiting the events page over at WDWRadio.com. We've got some special guests lined up who are going to be there as well, too, including some Disney artists, some Disney Imagineers, and maybe a Disney legend or two. Also that weekend, we've got the Tower of Terror race. We've got the Meet of the Month on Saturday, the D23 Epcot 30th Anniversary event, and Monday, October 1st, I'm also going to do a live broadcast from Epcot Center, because I'm old school. I call it Epcot Center. And that day, during that live broadcast, we're going to announce the winners of, again, our Dream Team Project charity auction. Just as we did last year, we're going to be holding an online auction. It's going to begin Friday, September 28th, run through Sunday, September 28th, 30th, and we are going to have a wide variety of Disney items, merchandise, collectibles, experiences, things you cannot find anywhere. We've got some incredible things and experiences donated, and all that money, every cent, goes right to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. You guys do some amazing things. To date, we've raised almost $250,000 thanks to events like that. I promise you're not going to want to miss the auction. And you're also not going to want to miss some announcements that I'm going to have that day as well, too, if all goes as planned. Also, a quick reminder, if you have been or are going to, or if you're at Walt Disney World right now, take out your phone or your camera phone, turn it around, as I know you've done before. Please don't make the duck face, and take a self-shot and submit it to photos at WDWRadio.com. You can be featured on WDW Radio's Self-Shot Tuesdays. There is me with one of my favorite citizens of Main Street. I love her to death. When you see her, tell her Lou sent you. Please give her a hug. Also, be sure and check out this week's podcast. I have an interview with Disney Imagineer Jason Grant. He shares his story, his journey, and he's going to tell you the real story about the return of the orange bird and some of the things that he's done as well, too. What else? Come by, subscribe to the newsletter. You know, you can get our posts delivered daily to you via email for free. You can find it right at WDWRadio.com. Get those updates there. And if next time you come to Walt Disney World, hopefully I'll meet up with you guys at a meet of the month in the parks. I know that there's more going on. I have more to announce. There's more I'm working on. And I'm sure that there's more that I just simply forgot because I'm just getting older. But please come by, visit the site, comment, rate, review, all that kind of good stuff. I want to thank you guys so very much. For those of you who are tuning in live this and every week, the Box People, my extended WDW Radio family, thank you for tuning in live. Stay tuned after the show. We're going to chat some more. If you're listening to the show or watching it, I'm old school. I say taped. Come by every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and be part of the fun live in the box. That is going to do it for this week's show. Thank you all so very much for taking the time and tuning in to this and every week. I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya.